Alright, today we're going to show you a cool technique on how to catch fish bouncing a caddis.
That's a big brown throw.
Alright, with this bouncing the caddis technique, first, it helps a lot to have a long rod. I'm fishing a Euro rod. It doesn't have to be a Euro rod though, but a long rod helps because it gives you more reach. Also a long leader, a thin leader ideally, to eliminate as much sag as possible. I think the best rig for this particular technique is a Euro setup, but you don't have to have a Euro setup to do this. It does help a lot to have the dry fly on a tag so that when the point fly that's weighted is anchoring into the water, you can sit and bounce this and keep it off the water, and the fish have a much easier time getting it, which is kind of important because this is a technique where the fly is moving. It's a moving target. They miss it a lot. You'll probably see that in this video. Anyway, I've just got 5 to 5.5x here as my tippet. I've got maybe 2.5 feet from my dry fly to my point fly. This is a corn-fed caddis. Other flies that might work well, CDC and elk. Really any caddis pattern can work. A Goddard caddis would be a good one too. But my favorite's the corn-fed or the CDC and elk because of the CDC. They have a lot of movement. They have a lot of flotation built into them. After that, it's important to try and fish across or down and across most of the time so that you have a little bit of tension on the point fly. That tension kind of anchors it in, and then you can shake the rod. You'll notice I'm not really moving the rod, I'm not bouncing it, I'm not jigging it, I'm just shaking it a little bit to make that dry fly just quiver at the surface. Alright, another couple key components to this. You may have seen me drying out my fly using this little rubber band or Span Flex. Rubber band actually works, but it sun rots in a few days. So Span Flex or Life Flex fly tying leg material, just tie a loop of that on your vest, stretch it out, strum the tippet, your fly gets dry. I like Shimazaki Dry Shake, or you could use Loon Top Ride or Loon Dust as a powder to help keep your CDC flies floating. Flyagra is another good option. Dry Magic or Loon Loxa are all good floatants for CDC patterns as well. Your fly needs to be, your dry fly I should say, needs to be really floating well, so it's important to have, you don't have to have all these obviously, these are all just options, but if you had one powder and one liquid, you'll be alright. With Cheech out of the mix, we didn't want to leave him out. We caught some fish that are the size that Cheech usually catches. Beautiful little brownie, wild fish. Ate a corn-fed caddis. In your honor, Cheech, in your honor. brownie. Ate the corn fed. Adios. The light's getting lower. There aren't actually a ton of caddis out tonight. We had hoped for more, but there are enough to get the fish to eat. I missed a couple of small fish out in the ripple here. Waded into the drop off, and I missed a real nice fish before that little guy ate, but might go sneak back out there and see if I can give that bigger fish one more chance. That is a beautiful brown on the corn-fed caddis. Taking a while, shaking it. Oh, that's what we came for. Okay, a couple of quick tips just as a recap. One, it helps for this technique to have a long rod. Doesn't really have to be a Euro rod, but at least 9 foot just to give you a little extra reach. 10, 10 and a half is even better. Long, thin leader allows you to fish farther away. You need to have really buoyant flies. My favorite's the corn-fed caddis for this technique, but a CDC and elk would work. A Goddard caddis would work. Even a regular elk hair caddis would do the trick. It's also really important to have a point fly that's quite heavy. So I've been using 3 to 3.5 mil beads to anchor the dropper, the point fly I should say, down, and then have the dry fly tied on a dropper tag. So for all this information, everything from rods, lines, leaders, everything used, flies used, check out the link in the description below and get out and chase a couple of fish bouncing a caddis.